and welcome to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I have spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey, welcome back to Brewing Success. I'm your host, Andrea Gebhardt, and I am fired up to talk about this topic today because there's two things you should know about me. Number one, leadership is my jam. Number two, impact is my mission. So let's just get right into it. Leadership isn't about titles or authority. It's about impact. The leaders who truly move people, businesses, and missions forward aren't just busy. They're intentional. And so today, I'm going to share with you the 5 habits that separate high impact leaders from the rest. So have you ever noticed how some leaders seem to just have it? They walk into a room, people pay attention, their team follows them without hesitation. They just don't lead. They inspire, create momentum, and actually make an impact. And then there are the ones who are just managing, checking the boxes, keeping the machine running, but not actually driving real change. So what's the difference? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's habits. The way impactful leaders think, act, and show up daily is 100% what sets them apart. And so today I'm going to break down 5 habits of leaders who actually make an impact. And these are the things that separate the managers from the visionaries, the influencers from the forgettable. If you're ready to elevate your leadership and create real influence, this episode today is for you. So let's get right to it. I recently shared an impactful episode titled, "If you want to lead them, you got to lead you." And I have to tell you that I got so much feedback from our amazing community in regards to this episode, from aha moments to hardcore self-talks around going first and leading by example. One of our listeners even shared that she realized that the reason her team took a step back is because that she did. It's easy to tell and teach other people what to do. It's not so easy to do it yourself. Well, at least that's the lie that you continue to repeat in your mind. So before I get started here today, I want you to promise me something. Before you tell someone else to go and do something or how to do something, go do it yourself first. Lead by example. Go first and show the way by going the way. High impact leaders don't just tell people what to do. They show up for themselves first. That's the most fundamental habit you got to develop if you want to become an impactful leader, the habit of leading oneself. And I love that this is first. Why? Because it's the gateway to everything else. Leaders who lead themselves first have self-discipline, a strong work ethic, and personal integrity. And as a result, they attract people of the same quality and build phenomenal teams. In addition to all of this, leaders who lead themselves first create a high level of credibility and trust with their audience and peers. And as a result, they have higher levels of influence. People don't want to work with leaders on the benches of the game. They want to work with leaders in the trenches of the games. I feel like that could be like a hardcore rap song, like bridge. Okay. I'm just saying. Somebody help me put it together. So leaders who lead themselves don't rely on motivation. They prioritize consistency. And this is one of the greatest separators in leadership, knowing the difference between motivation and discipline, understanding that motivation is fleeting and discipline is the driver of results. And as a leader, guess what? You're not always going to feel like showing up or doing the things, but you know that you have a responsibility and obligation to do so. It's not about what you feel like you should be doing. It's about knowing and doing what you should be doing. And I hear it all the time. Well, I know what I should do. I just need to do it. Raise your hand if you've said that. Not sure if you said, I know what I need to do. I just need to go and do it. Knowing it doesn't make you a leader. Doing it does. Knowing it and telling other people to do it doesn't make you a leader. Knowing it, doing it, and then telling other people, that right there is the secret sauce of leadership. So how do we work to develop this habit? It's easy. You can simply identify one area of your life or your business where you can lead yourself better. Whether it's time management, personal growth, or discipline, impact leadership starts with you. Identify the area and then just get disciplined in that. And this leads us to the next habit, which is clear and intentional communication. Impactful leaders communicate with clarity and purpose. Great leaders speak with conviction, not confusion. They speak with conviction when delivering their messages. They deliver them with confidence, authenticity, and a strong belief in what they say, which is what inspires trust, motivates action, and contributes to strong relationships. They make sure that their team, business, and/or audience knows the why behind their actions. There's a consistency to what they share, and that comes from genuine words aligned with actions. Not only do they communicate instruction, they also communicate vision. Martin Luther King didn't just say, I think we should work toward change. He said, I have a dream. And he painted a vision people could believe in. So if we now know that part of becoming an impactful leader is developing the habit of communicating with clarity and purpose, I want you to ask yourself, am I clearly communicating my vision and purpose to my team and audience? If you are, great. If you're not quite there yet, I want to encourage you to spend some time developing that message and working it into your communication on social media and with those you lead and mentor on a regular basis. So let's talk about habit number 3. Impact leaders create solutions instead of complaints. So the first habit that we have is that leaders lead themselves. That's the first one, right? That's the fundamental one. They lead themselves first. The second we know is that they communicate with clarity and purpose. And so number 3, they create solutions instead of complaints. So recently I was on the phone with someone providing mentorship over a challenge that they were kind of experiencing. And at the end of the call, they're like, oh my gosh, thank you for your time and your guidance and your advice. I appreciate you spending this time with me. And I informed her, I was like, hey, now that you have my cell phone number, you can totally call me anytime. I'm always open to, conversations of overcoming challenges and focusing on solutions as long as the conversation is focused on the solution over the problem, then we're good. You can call me to chat solutions, but you can't call me to chat complaints. And if you're going to come with a complaint, you better come with some solutions. I even had this motto when I was an assistant principal of an elementary school. I used to talk about this with my students. Don't come to my desk with a complaint about something unless you also have a solution. Because if all you can see is the complaint, then your focus is in the wrong place. Two things happened here as a result of this call. Number 1, I set a precedence as a leader and at the same time taught a very important leadership lesson. You see, most people focus on problems. Leaders, on the other hand, they focus on solutions. And I can usually tell the leadership of an individual based on how they respond to challenges, the amount of attention and focus they give to a problem, or the speed in which they automatically pivot and start to search for solutions. Not only does it say a lot about their leadership, but it says a lot about their mindset and their emotional maturity, which is why I came up with this many, many years ago, and I always say I believe in it. The equipped don't trip, meaning those people who understand leadership and growth and adversity and challenge and setbacks and the purpose of all those things in our journey, the equipped, they don't trip. They don't trip when something doesn't go right. They don't trip when something changes. They don't trip when, companies pivot or things like that change. They don't trip. Because they're equipped with the knowledge and understanding the purpose of it all. And the unequipped, they trip out hard. Those are the people who lose it, melt down, are ready to throw in the towel. Hiccups to them are like cardiac arrest. It is unreal. Impactful leaders don't waste time blaming, dwelling, or wishing things are different. They figure out a solution, they take action. You know what they also do? They train their team to think the same way. Got a problem? Let's find a way through it. They never allow setbacks to sever the pathway to the goal. They just find another route. Jeff Bezos never once complained about the limitations of e-commerce. Instead, he built Amazon, a platform that changed the level of access to goods and the way that people shopped globally. The biggest leaders in history didn't dwell on obstacles. They used them as fuel to create a better way. So next time you catch yourself or your team complaining, disrupt that conversation with what's the solution and what do we need to do to figure this out? And that leads us to the fourth and probably most intimidating habit, which is making decisions with confidence, even during times of uncertainty. So when you're a leader, especially when you're in charge of a large team or organization, the decisions that you make can have a positive or negative impact. This at times can feel intimidating and even scary, but to be an impactful leader, you have to lead with confidence, even during times of uncertainty. You see, leaders don't wait for perfect conditions. They make decisions and adjust as needed, knowing and understanding that one big decision may lead to a bunch of smaller decisions down the road. They trust their intuition, their experience, their knowledge, and they don't let fear paralyze them. Ultimately, they understand that action beats hesitation. With that being said, let me make sure I draw a very clear line here. Great leaders should give all decisions thought, weighing them out, running scenarios, and making sound judgments. All right? So when I say they make decisions without hesitation, I don't want you to think that you're just making decisions without consideration. We do. We just don't spend days and days and days and days. We don't stay in inaction. We make decisions and we move. The point is they decide with confidence, not vacillate with doubt. So imagine a pilot, right? You're on an airplane and imagine the pilot comes on the little speaker thing. He's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I'm ready to take off. Let's wait until everything feels certain." Would you ever even get on that plane? Probably not. Because you wouldn't be so sure if he'd be getting off. If he doesn't want to take off till he's super certain, what about the land? What about the this? What about everything else, right? So this is exactly my point. Your business, your team, your future can't afford you to hesitate. Decisiveness is key to making long-term progress. So if you've been stuck in overthinking mode, commit to taking one bold action this week. In addition to that, what decision do you need to make that you've been hesitating on? Stop thinking about it. Make a decision so that you can move on and move forward. And that brings us to habit number 5, the most important, the habit of multiplying and developing other leaders. I always say it's cool if you can do it, but how many people do you have doing it with you? It's cool if you're having success, but how many people are succeeding with you? It's cool if you're winning, but how many people are winning with you? Leadership isn't about being out front. It's about being alongside. Leadership is becoming progressively unnecessary, and in order to do that, we must equip, empower, and develop multiple levels of leaders. The highest impact leaders don't build followers. They build more leaders. They add value, teach, train, mentor, guide, and give ample opportunities for others to showcase their strengths, sit at leadership tables, and be a part of leadership conversations. Just like the cream rises to the top when given the opportunity, leaders rise in organizations. Great leaders know the importance of coaching, mentoring, and empowering the people around them, and they do it constantly. Great leaders create a culture where growth, ownership, and leadership development are the standard. And this is something for me, it's very important to me. Leadership development is the standard. It's why I have a leadership development community where I mentor people. It's why I focus on personal growth and skill development of the team. It's so incredibly important. My job at the end of the day is to make sure that if people are working with me, that they are working to become the best version of themselves all the time. And if people go to work beyond me, that they left me better than they came to me. That's literally my vision for people who I get the privilege to work with. Look at leaders like John Maxwell. His entire philosophy is about developing people, not just managing them. Because your impact isn't just what you do, it's what you help others do. So you might be asking, well, how do I develop this habit? I'm going to tell you how. Identify one person you can develop, mentor, guide, teach, train, equip, empower this week, or better yet, for the next 30, 60, 90 days, and watch what happens. That's the most fulfilling aspect of leadership. is helping somebody else strengthen, like, first of all, teaching them they have wings, helping them strengthen their wings, and then watching them fly. Like, that is the best part of leadership. Leadership isn't about doing more. It's about being more. High impact leaders don't just work harder. They work better. They lead themselves. They communicate with clarity. They create solutions. They make bold decisions. And most importantly, they focus on developing others. If you want to be remembered as a leader who changed things, it's imperative you work to develop and solidify these habits. Because the truth is, people will follow the example you set, not just the words that you say. So my final 2 questions for you as we wrap up this topic are these. Number 1, what kind of leader are you becoming? And number 2, what kind of impact are you leaving behind? Listen, when you look back on your leadership legacy, the answer that you will be able to give to those questions, what kind of leader was I? What kind of leadership legacy did I leave behind? Will be a direct result of how you decided to show up as a leader today. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Brewing Success Leadership Podcast. It is an honor, truly, to get to equip and empower you as a leader each week. If you are looking for more leadership mentorship, drop into my DMs and ask about my mentorship community, or head on over to the website, brewingsuccess.com, to learn more. Be sure to share your growth journey by sharing this episode and tagging us on social media and leaving a review on whichever platform you're listening on. Thanks again. Cannot wait to be back with you next week.